Cross That River is a musical story of the American West, but it's not a story of the American West that you've heard before. It's the story of how a runaway slave turned cowboy, making his way during America's westward expansion. While this is a fictional story, it's based on true American black cowboys who helped pioneer and settle our American West. Cross That River is coming to the Berglund Center here in Roanoke on February 18th, and we are so blessed to have the composer, writer, and producer of Cross That River here in the studio with us this morning. We're excited to welcome Allan Harris, composer and performer, and his wife, Pat Harris. Good morning. Welcome to Living Local.
Well, thank you for having me.
And welcome to the Star City. I should also say, you guys just came in, flew into town, what, yesterday?
Last night.
Okay.
Last night.
And here you are. Well, thank you for being with us this morning. Well, we have lots to get to. Let's begin with why tell a story like this? Why was it important for you all to tell this story?
Number one was to empower children, started out as children of color, children of any race or nationality, to let them know that there was something more to our beginnings in this country than just slaves and porters and dishwashers and bellhops. There was a period during the 19th century where we actually were on par with our white counterparts. The cattle drives, it was only 25 years, where we got the same pay, ate the same food, had the same skills. So I wanted to bring that to the forefront because the history books when I was growing up really smothered that. I was lucky enough to have a family that was involved with black cowboys, had them in my family, and we had a 600-acre farm, and we're 200 acres now. And so I spent my summers around being enmeshed with those people of color who worked livestock. So now that I'm older, I wanted to release all these pathos, so I wrote this song. Next thing you know, it's a full-fledged production.
Wow. Why would you say we haven't really heard stories such as this before?
Well,
to a degree. I know that there's stories out there, but
right.
but why is it so smothered, as you said, in history books?
I think because when the movies became in vogue, because of segregation and that, it wasn't in style to have a person of color, especially men, take on a role of, I call it Western nobility, you know, riding a horse and shooting guns and that. It's just a taboo. After Reconstruction, they decided to just smother our involvement in that, and they did a really good job of it, believe me. So I think it's important why they did it. I really don't know, I'm still figuring it out now, but I hope we move on past that and we come into a new age where we educate ourselves and our kids and start realizing that we're all part of this wonderful dream called America.
Yeah.
We all help build it.
I think they did it because they didn't think that they could sell the image of a black cowboy, because iconically it's always been a white man on a horse, and so they doubted whether they could actually sell that concept.
Yeah. How long ago are we talking about in history where we would have seen the prominence of black cowboys?
Since the inception of the West, we, I say we, I wasn't there, but
you're in
men and women of color. Speaking of this, why am I between pretty women? Why? What is this?
You're lucky.
Anyway, I'm
How's
lucky.
that? You're
all right,
just
let's
lucky.
get back to what was the question again?
How far back in history are we talking? And the prominence.
The minute that the Spanish vaqueros, they call them, started to bring what they call Andalusian cattle, which were longhorn, and wild horses, Mustangs, which were brought over by the Spanish. There were no horses here. They had people of color with them that helped herd, knew how to rope, knew how to brand, knew how to drive herds. So they were always part of the fixture. It was just that the books thought it was demonstrative to white audiences and readers who bought books and novels, not to show black faces. And like I said earlier, they did a really good job of smothering us in that. But, of course, it's still alive, it is, and I hope I'm part of that, bringing it to the forefront a little more.
I'm going to say you're very much a part of that with this production and how you're bringing this story to life and doing it in such a creative way. Matter of fact, we're going to have you stick around and stay with us after the break. Mr. Harris will continue to tell us more about this story, and maybe we get a little taste of some of the music that we can expect later on at the Berglund Center. Stay with us.